Hello, everybody. Sorry for the delay. I had to water my plants real quick. Welcome to the Northeast Ohio Sports Show. It is currently Thursday, August 21st. We are almost there till Friday, guys. I cannot wait. It was a long work week for me, so excited for Friday. It is a 23rd episode of the Northeast Ohio Sports Show. LeBron James is going to wear a LeBron jersey. It's just really big for me, so let's go LeBron. This week's funny, not so funny topic is Michael Penix Jr. Became an instant meme after Falcons QB went viral for a misspell, and they spelled it obviously like you were thinking, penis. Michael Penix Jr. is what they ended up spelling, so that's just hilarious. He's a quarterback, like I said, for the Falcons. During a live broadcast, during the press conference at Georgia, news station accidentally displayed the player's name as Michael Penix Jr., a typo that quickly became impossible to ignore. Fans and viewers reacted in droves of memes, jokes, and endless social media chatter, which we knew was going to happen eventually, so, with his name, especially when he got drafted, so that's just funny to see. Once again, we still have 2 weeks, not this time next week, we'll be having like media day for F1. F1's on their summer break right now, but IndyCar's back this weekend, which we'll be talking about a little bit later. Real quick recap of the top 10 for F1. Once again, the top 10 for F1, and that is Oscar Piastri in first at 266, Lando Norris at second at 250, Max Verstappen at third at 185, George Russell at fourth, 157, Charles Leclerc at fifth with 139 points, Lewis Hamilton at 6th with 109 points. Andrea Kimi Antonelli in 7th with 63 points. Alexander Albon in 8th with 54 points. Nico Hulkenberg in 9th with 37 points. And Esteban Ocon in 10th with 27 points. The standings for the constructors: McLaren's in first with 516. Ferrari's in second with half, 248 points. Mercedes is in third with 220. Red Bull's in fourth with 192. Williams is in fifth. Sauber 6th. Racing Bull 7th. Aston Martin 8th, having a bad year. Haas 9th. Alpine 10. Bad year for Alpine 2. A quick review for Browns. Hunter's not here this week. He wasn't able to make it. He had a concert tonight. Other QB decisions: speeding drama and roster roulette. Let's go into a deep dive for Browns. Last game in preseason week 2 against the Eagles, Cleveland earned a gritty 22-13 win, highlighted by a pick 6 and a strong running game. Dylan Gabriel and Dorian Tom DTR split QB reps. Next up, the final preseason outing this Saturday against the Rams. Coach Kevin Stefanski calls it a dress rehearsal for a regular season opener against Cincinnati. Expect starters like Joe Flacco to get significant reps, which will be interesting. I was in Philadelphia for that win. I wasn't at the game, but I was able to watch it on my phone, scores, and see that we won, so that was cool to see. The QB storylines are Joe Flacco was named starter, and his rookies rising. Joe Flacco was named the Week 1 starter, a nod to experience and stability, but Shedeur Sanders, despite a flash of brilliance in his debut, 138 yards and 2 TDs, is sidelined with an oblique injury, putting his momentum on pause, which I'm fine with. He doesn't need to be playing or starting at all. Like me and Hunter talked about weeks before. I am just fine with Joe Flacco starting. He has the experience. Meanwhile, Dylan Gabriel faces scrutiny after a viral entertainer versus competitor comment, increasing tension in the QB competition, which is kind of sad, and I believe he should get scrutiny for that. Power moves and camp headlines or roster cuts on Verizon DT, defense tackle Ralph Hawley Jr., right guard Zach Zinter, and kicker Dustin Hopkins are all on the roster bubble. Their performance could determine who makes the final 53. Their performance this week, if they could make the final 53. High-profile sidelight: Myles Garrett made headlines off the field, caught speeding at 100 miles per hour, I think against Strongsville, and clammed up when asked about it, steering focus back to football, people making jokes. Camp highlight His rookie wide receiver Isaiah Bond is now on the roster and got action during practice. Another intriguing addition to watch. 1 second, guys. I'm going to cough and take a sip of my tea. What this all means for QB depth chart drama, injuries, and strong performances. Keep the Browns QB rotation intriguing. Deciding how many quarterbacks to keep will be one of the toughest cuts. Locker room culture, Garrett speeding tickets adds off-field pressure. How players handle scrutiny matters as much as on-field performance to some. Roster battles matter as well. A final preseason game will be critical for bubble players that could define Cleveland's team identity heading into Week 1. Now we'll be going into NASCAR and IndyCar. Starting off with NASCAR, we had Dylan's redemption, with Daytona gearing up in NASCAR's new chapter. Austin Dillon turned NASCAR world upside down with a commanding win at Richmond's Cookout 400. Back-to-back. From last year, he won 2, punching his playoff ticket in dramatic fashion. Now Daytona is next. Daytona! NASCAR is planning some big moves for 2026. Let's shift into gear. So the last race, like I talked about, which was the Cookout 400 at Richmond, Austin Dillon powered to victory. Power to victory at Richmond on August 16th, overcoming a broken rim to dominate, which is crazy. 107 laps, a clean, emphatic one that secured him a playoff spot, like stated. Top finisher Alex Bowman, the old Jimmy Johnson driver, number 48, finished P2, and Ryan Blaney and Joe Logano running out for top 5, which is great to see. Ryan Blaney get some more points. For Rich, results took up the playoff standings, solidifying Dillon's momentum. Playoff shake, his win is a key. He captivated from the near lane, locking a spot in the 16-driver field, which I believe Blaney's in too. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The next race is the Coke Zero, Sugar 200, Daytona, August 23rd. Under the lights, which is great, a marquee event. And the final tune-up before the playoffs. Drivers will be hungry for a win, either to lock in their playoff bids or build momentum heading into the elimination rounds, get more points. Viral race story. Flau'jae Johnson at Daytona in a crossover highlight. LSU basketball star Flau'jae Johnson will wave a green flag at Daytona. And appearance bridging NASCAR and women's college basketball cultures, which is cool to see. WWE legend Rey Mysterio will also be on hand to start the engine. He'll actually like going up, so it's kind of cool. Amplifying star power at this pivotal race. Trying to turn up entertainment value. Watch for downtown energy and growing crossover appeal for NASCAR. Continues to entertain broader audience. What's next for NASCAR? The 2026 schedule exclusives. NASCAR just announced its 2026 schedule with some exciting additions. The Chicagoland Speedway returns to July 5th after a 7-year absence, which is great. I think that means it's going to be at a racetrack in Chicago and not in the streets, which people will like, especially for 4th of July weekend. The All-Star race moves to Dover for the first time. North Wilkes-Barre Speedway returns to a points-paying docket after nearly 30 years. An in-season tournament and playoff structure also get fresh twists, kind of like we had this year. These moves reflect a bold blend of heritage and innovation. Reclaiming classic venues while pushing forward with new formulas, which I agree. So the standings, we'll go 16 above because that's a playoff right now. We got Kyle Busch at 16, Oscar Cindric at 15, Ross Chastain at 14, Ryan Pierce at 13th, Joey Logano at 12th, he's +1 this week, Chris Boucher at 11th, he's -1, Bubba Wallace in 10th, he's +1 this week, Alex Bowman above him at 9th, and Chase Briscoe. Tyler Reddick at 7th, Bell at 6th, he's -2, Ryan Blaney at 5th, he's +1, Kyle Larson at 4th, he's +1, Blaney is 3 points behind him, Kyle Larson is 7 points behind Danny Hamlin, who is 11 points behind Chase Elliott in second, and Chase Elliott is a kind of a decent amount, 68 points away from William Byron in the lead. So we got lead 5 drivers, constructors down. 1 is Chevy, 2 Chevy, 3 Toyota, 4 Chevy, 5 Ford, the first Ford and Ryan Blaney. Here in IndyCar, we talked about a lot before. Is IndyCar's heating up as we face the Milwaukee Mile. The Oval Racing's next stop. Short will preview and the short and highlight today. Which is the Snap-on Milwaukee 250 we talked about a little bit. Snap-on trucks coming, boys. About to pay some money. Get financed like a mofo. This is Sunday, August 24th at the Historic Market Mile. It marks around 16 out of 7 of the 2025 season, last 2 races. With the only oval race left after Milwaukee, it is the second to last chance for drivers to shine before the final season. Finale in Louisville on the 31st. They're done at the end of the month. A new IndyCar Inside Line features highlights a quirky yet intriguing question. Will 4-time Oval winners emerge in over 2024 and 2025? Kyle Palou, Kyle Kirkwood, Scott McLaughlin, Colton Herta. Who's next? 2 Oval opportunities remain, with names like David Malukas entering the competition for his first Oval win at either Milwaukee or Nashville. Once again, with Palou wrapping up the championship, the hunt for the race, win, glory, and playoff points continue, or in his case, the nail down for a perfect season. Will Power's resurgence with his Portland win energizes Penske, and he still needs a spot next year. But for rookie crown and race per win chase remains alive. Drivers like Pato O'Ward and Christian Lundgaard still have much to race for to get number 2. Let's go, Pato. Milwaukee adds to its history and unique oval challenge, tight quarters, old corners, old school vibes, and great fan energy. It separates contenders on pure driving instinct. For first-time winners, it's a golden opportunity. For veterans, it's about finesse and sauvage, being savage. For rookies like Malukas, it's a chance to etch their names alongside past legends. For standings, once again, Alex Palou, Pato O'Ward, Scott Dixon, Christian Lundgaard, Kyle Kirkwood in 5th, Will Power, Felix Rosenqvist, Colton Herta, Marcus Armstrong, David Malukas, top 10 in IndyCar. 11, Scott McLaughlin, Mias VK, Christian Ramazan, Gino Fucci, Graham Rahal in 15th. We'll be skipping the NBA as it's the off-season. Once again, we could see below the next F1 race is the Heineken Dutch Grand Prix, as August is next week. Like I said, 29th through 31st starts in about a week. Pre-practice 1 is on Friday, August 29th at 6:30 p.m. a.m. My bad. Pre-practice 2 is Friday at 10. Pre-practice 3 is Saturday at 5:30, qualifying being Saturday at 9 a.m., and a race at 9 a.m. I like that to have the same time. Sometimes it's kind of hard to do that. So race is Sunday at 9 a.m. This is a tri-oval course with a 4.3 kilometer track. A circuit length with a total distance about 301.49 kilometers. Number of laps 70. 14 turns clockwise. It was established in 1939. It's a little bit old, but they have some great racing here at Zandvoort. And I kind of like always seeing it. Max Verstappen's not really having a great year, so I don't think he might even win this race. It's going to be sad. So his domination is kind of coming to an end. Personally, if Red Bull doesn't have a good car next year, and I don't think they will, and he doesn't find a good team, he might not even do that. He might just burn out at 4, kind of be like some other drivers in the past who have gotten 4. Sorry. And I really do think that it really depends. Like he could have a great career in other racing, like World Endurance, and maybe even if he wants to do IndyCar, whatever he wants to do, he would be great at it. He could do rallycar, and he'd be great at Max. Zandvoort has 2 DRS zones. It's kind of crazy how far away the DRS zone detection zone 2 is. Just away from DRS zone 2 is actually like not the full 14-1 start straight. It's like the last half of it, which really sucks. And the DRS zone 1 is on a curve, which is crazy. It's not that much of a curve, though, from turn 10 to 11. So going to be a good race to see. For the Guardians this week, since we were on last Wednesday, they're actually off today, which is nice. Last Wednesday, once again, they lost to the Marlins 4-13. They beat the Marlins last Thursday 9-4. So we won the Marlins series 2-1. However, we got swept by the Braves. Fridays we lost 0-2. Saturday we lost. This was actually home too, which is sad. Saturday we lost 1-10. Sunday we lost 4-5. Horrible. Monday we beat the D-backs 3-1, but then we lost them the last two, so lost that series 2-1. On Monday we lost 3-1. Tuesday we lost 5-6. Yesterday we lost 2-3. Once again, losing the series 2-1, 2-1. This Friday we are at Texas playing the Rangers until Sunday. Then we are back at home this coming Monday through Wednesday, playing Tampa Bay. Next Friday we're playing the Mariners to end out the month at home. So hopefully we can get some wins here. Tampa Bay and Mariners, kind of decent teams. Tampa Bay a little bit better, and in our division, if I'm not mistaken, at least in our conference, so we need to do a little bit better on them. Guardians are on the edge, recent battle, playoff pulse, and pitching glare. What happened yesterday? A tight 3-2 loss in extras. A rookie, Parker Mizik's debut was stellar, delivering 6 2/3 innings with 6 strikeouts and just 1 run. Unfortunately, the bullpen faltered late. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. delivered a walk-off blast of a 10. Once again, 6-5 against Arizona. It's bad series against the Braves. BetMGM puts Cleveland at a 35.7 chance to make the playoffs. Fangraphs estimates are more conservative, around 26.5, and affordable platforms like SI/DraftKings, I wonder if SI Sports Illustrated, suggest about 31.25. Cleveland remains about 0.5 games out of the AL wildcard spot, which kind of sucks. For Guardians, so what matters for Guardians, heat up at the right time. Since a mid-season rough patch, they've been 21-8, showcasing renewed urgency at the plate. With forgiving upcoming schedule, including games against Detroit, Miami, and Kansas City, there's still a viable path to the October contention. For bullpen and starting pitching continue to stand out even when bats go cold and even with injuries. Sorry about that. Hot headlines to watch. Parker Mizik's MLB debut captivated fans. His polished performance offers pitching depth and optimism for the rotation. On the defensive end, Stephen Kwan flashed his brilliance despite the team's struggles, while Arias Cannon for the plate energizes fans. Corbin Carroll's triple threat. He tied and then broke the franchise-mark ties with multi-hit performances against Cleveland. A bright moment on the drought. Some other topics. I do want to talk Hunter a little bit about this. First would be Happy Gilmore 2. I've finally seen it, and I thought it was very good. I think I may have already talked about it. But the cameos were good. I thought it was really funny with all the golfers. I do like golf. I just don't like talking about golf that much pro-wise. I like Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods. A lot of these new guys I don't know too much. I don't like. I kind of like Justin Thompson and DJ back in the day, Justin Johnson. But, like, they're not good anymore. It's sad. And same with Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth. You know, we have a lot of guys that were great back in the day, a couple years ago, when they were young, and they kind of faded away. I don't know if it's just for training, if it's a mental thing, if it's how hard they are on their bodies. No idea. But Rory's still in it. You know, after all these years, he won the Masters, so that's great to see. He was in the movie a lot. Great to see. All the cameos were great, a little cheesy. I don't like how Easy Days killed off his wife. I don't remember if his actress, was still alive, though. If she's not, that makes sense. Then you kind of have to. If she's still alive, it's kind of just a dumb play to make him an alcoholic. But it was funny how much he was an alcoholic, so I get that. Number 2 is our Browns Stadium update. Apparently the new location got denied, at least for design, because it's not FAA possible. They didn't get FAA clearance because it's too tall. It's right by an airport. which I know they like, but they do have to be smart about that, maybe a little farther away. I don't know the max minimum distances. It really depends. Sometimes 300 feet, sometimes 800, sometimes more than 1,000, especially when you're tall like that. Building-wise, like a stadium is. Last would be for F1 Cadillac rumors to sign Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez, which would be amazing to see. Sergio Perez is a Mexican, great driver, one of the only Mexican drivers, I think, the only to in F1 to be on the Mexican Grand Prix on the podium. He got third. That's very smart. They're kind of going with a more veteran side than young guy, and they could always get a young guy to be the simulation driver, and also maybe just come in if need be. I think Valtteri is not as good as Sergio Perez, but they'll both be good. It's going to be Red Bull powered, and they're saying that's actually very compatible to Mercedes. Valtteri Bottas has driven for Kick Sauber, who, if I'm not mistaken, has a Ferrari engine. So he's kind of dealt with that before. Sergio Perez, I don't think has driven a Red Bull engine. A Ferrari engine ever. Unlike Bottas, but we'll see. I think this veterans team is going to be really good. Cadillac's smart with being an American car company. Getting a Mexican. Right now we see that a lot in IndyCar, so they probably want to get the fans up, and they already know that they can get it like me. I love O'Ward. He's Mexican, Irishman, kind of like me, so it's kind of cool. So it's going to be very cool to me if Cadillac gets Valtteri Bottas. They're looking very good, and Sergio Perez. They're saying maybe 8th this year. That would be amazing if they beat 3 other teams, because there'll be 11 teams now. If they could do that, the first year would be crazy. Probably not. They might be last, and then within a couple years do better. They aren't building their engines till 2029, which is the last year of this regulation cycle change in 2026. It'll be only for 4 years. So it'd be interesting to see, if they're going to just try to wait to be smart, save money, GM, and then build an engine, be better. Hopefully it can be better. That's it, everyone. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you drop a like. We have our Facebook in the description. Make sure you like us on there and share our social media on there. That really helps us. This goes to all our video on demands, which if we get more videos and likes and views, and likes on our past videos, that helps us with the YouTube algorithm. If you like this episode, it helps with the YouTube algorithm. I'm going to try to do the Healthy Living show this weekend, maybe even a music show, maybe a watch show with my friend Tommy. We'll see. It's a little bit more chill weekend, so just stay tuned, guys. We'll be on social media about it, and, once again, you can watch past videos. We will be here, though, like we are here, every week with a week ahead news show on Monday at 8:30, like we are here on Thursday at 8:30. But thank you, everyone, for stopping by. If you have any comments, drop them below. Once again, we have scores below and above. Have a great day, everyone.